So what we're gonna do, I put together 5 tips to sell professional crafts easily. And I added the easily part because a lot of us have thoughts and feelings around being able to sell our crafts, and that it should be hard and it should be overwhelming and it should, it shouldn't come easy. I want to talk about what it would be like today if it was easy, right? How to make it easy for you or easier to get the result you want. So I'm super excited about that. Throughout the entire new make section, my heart and vision that I took this right here and gave it to Alicia to run with it, because I truly believe that Alicia was the right one to make these trainings. This morning I spent time watching these trainings again just so they were fresh on my mind, and to see her passion, to see her heart, and to see that she taught from a different angle than what I would teach from was actually really inspiring. And I think you as a creative as well will get inspired, because y'all, I got inspired. So I know that you all at home will get inspired. So if you're in Design Make Sell, take time this week to review those trainings. This is the new make section. But what I'm super excited about is to talk through these 5 tips, because what you're going to notice that in all of these tips is really changing our thoughts and feelings around our business and around selling our crafts. And I truly believe that if you are not selling your crafts or you're not getting the result you want, you have a feeling about that is holding you back. So what I love about this new make section is Alicia is walking hand by hand with you to validate your crafts, to call out the different areas of the craft that you may want to bring up before you start selling. So now what I'm so excited about is that even if you are someone that says, I think of myself more of a beginner or a little bit above beginner, and I still don't feel like my crafts are ready to sell, you are now a perfect candidate for Design Make Sell. And the order of operation I would go through, if you have already taken the program, if you're joining today to get those workbooks, anything like that, I would take the make section. You're going to complete that within 2 weeks, all right? And in 2 weeks, you're going to start with me on the selling section, because once you can go through all of the training of make, you are going to be able to confidently sell. And that's when I get to work with you. That's when we get to perfect your pricing. That's when we get to put yourself out there, and that's the order. Number 1 is the biggest thing that helped me start selling my crafts and knowing my worth. So when you get started, I want to talk to you all about confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence. If I could be a coach for one thing, I would argue it could be a confidence coach. So what confidence really is and why it's so important is because if you do it wrong, you are going to feel like you are impersonating someone, or you are not being truthful, or you are not, feeling any negative thought. Confidence is not you necessarily faking it. Confidence is not you not knowing what you can do and you were just shooting for anything, right? Confidence is right here, very simple. Confidence is knowing you can figure it out. That's it. Confidence is knowing you can figure it out. So a lot of people, when I talk about confidence, their thought about confidence is, oh my gosh, I would be lying, or oh my gosh, I would be cheating someone. No, that's not what we're asking for. Today, I want to encourage you to believe you can, because you're halfway there. So my favorite thought and my favorite, saying is believe you can and you're halfway there. Okay? Believe you can and you're halfway there. That's how you're going to sell professional crafts easily, because you're going to believe that you can. Having confidence is knowing that you can handle it, knowing that you can steward it well. And you can take this and apply it to selling crafts. You can take this and apply it to getting a new job. You can take this and apply it to growing a family. right? Whatever you want to do, you have to know that you can do it. And that's by getting confidence. And confidence is not saying you have done it already. Confidence is not saying that you think you can do it. Confidence is knowing that you can figure it out. And how you do that is you start understanding the belief. So you believe that you can do it, and that will show that you're already halfway there in your head. Because once you believe that you can do this, we can start thinking through, okay, I get a big order, how am I going to do it? I need to call my neighbor. My neighbor or my friend is going to help me do this order on a Friday night. I'm going to get them pizza. It's going to be great. I don't know exactly how to perfect the craft. What can I do about it? Okay, Tanner's got this training. Check, right? Like 1, 2, and 3. You are going to harness your confidence and believe in yourself because you know that you can figure it out and that you're willing to receive the money or the weight of the responsibility, and it's worth it to you. That's all the confidence really is today, is believing you can and knowing that that's half the battle, right? And that's, I think, a big piece for a lot of us that are struggling today, is that you lack the confidence because you feel like you are going to let someone down, right? Like when you truly have the confidence, you know that you may have not done it yet, but you know you can figure it out to do so. That's a big reason why in Design Make Sell we have added mock-ups. So mock-ups is something new coming to Design Make Sell, and this is here to help keep your costs low and profit high. But a lot of us are scared to use mock-ups in our business because they're like, oh, it's not the exact one, or it's not perfect yet, right? Like mock-ups is simply showing a design on an item. That's all it is. So when you start marketing that, and you can let people know this is a mock-up, not an original, right? There's no lying or cheating here needed, but that will allow you to save money and give a visual of what you can provide. So I really want you all to understand your confidence is what you need to allow you to easily sell your professional level crafts. And in the new make section, what I love to know about confidence is Alicia is going to work with you to make sure your crafts are professional. Because as she's a maker, she can call out the thoughts and feelings you have around your own crafts. So she's going to give you action steps to fix the craft so that if you're not confident in it, you can get confidence. Isn't that beautiful? A lot of times we know the reasons why our stuff is not selling because we already know that it's not professional enough. We already know that we're not going above and beyond, which I want to talk to you all about. Awesome, yes, all right. Let's talk about project or tip number 2. So tip number 2, this leads us right in really well, actually a little bit ahead. Complete the project all the way through. And again, looking at Friday's project, it was a beautiful ornament. We did such great design work. We taught you all it. We made the project. We made the box. But for me, if I was going to confidently sell that, I needed to complete the project all the way through by adding that felt backer. So consider going above and beyond to complete the project so that yet again, you feel all the way convinced, like you've proved to yourself that this is worth selling, that someone would pay you for, right? That's what it's all about. So make sure that every project you do is that you are going to be able to complete it all the way through. That's as simple as that. That one pitch, that one switch, that one swap, you are going to be able to sell more. Because here's the thing, you've made sure it's professional and now you're confident in it and you believe in it. How would you show up if you believe in it, you're confident in it, and you went above and beyond? You put your money where your mouth is with a really excellent quality product. Do you see what I'm saying here? These are the shifts that you're going to make. You're not just making a t-shirt willy-nilly, you're measuring the t-shirt, you're positioning it well. You're proud of this. Because when you're proud and when you're confident that someone will love it, then you show up different. You talk about it differently. If you've ever heard me talk about any of my programs, any of my products, without a shadow of a doubt, I believe you can have a transformation. You could have a transformation in Design Make Sell. How do I know it? I've taught 3,000 students. I have the testimonials. I have the proof. It's in the pudding. In our membership, we've had thousands upon thousands of people join the program. Have they got results? Yes, they've got results. So when you see me talk from a place of confidence, you're like, well, where did this guy get it? It's not that I just, willy-nilly did it, right? It's that I tested, I prove it, and then I scaled it. I let more people in. I let more people experience it. Time and time again, once you see someone can enjoy your product, you'll be more enticed to let more people experience it and more people, and you're going to have a quality product. In both of my programs, anytime I'm not proud of something, I add things or I switch things because I want to be proud of what I do. So for adding this make section, adding the make section is a great example. My customers needed to perfect their crafts. When we developed the program, we thought that people already were professional and were really confident with their crafts. That is not the case. A lot of you need help refining and thinking through what it's like to go from crafting as a hobby to crafting as a profession. It's not hard. It's not hard. Don't think of this as like, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard. No, we keep everything very, very simple and it gets results. So that's what we love. So we add it, and I want you to be able to go above and beyond for your customer as well. Because when you show up and go above and beyond, even if no one says it, they recognize it. They recognize it. So that is tip number 2. So tip number 1 is confidence. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Amazing. Tip number 2 is complete the project all the way through. Don't leave anything that you wouldn't be proud of. Don't leave any part unfinished. The back is just as important as the front. Amen. Are y'all with me? Tip number 3, to sell easily. Remember, we're working on a few things today. We're uncovering a lot. Like we're unlayering professional crafts. And tip number 3 is something I want you to consider. Tip number 3, would you consider bulk orders? If you want to sell professional crafts and you want to get bulk orders, and you want to get them easily, would you consider that? How does that make you feel? What does that look like, right? So if you would consider bulk orders today, that could be a way that you can easily sell more and make more because you're doing repetition at that point. If you want to say sublimation t-shirts, if you want to make a school's t-shirts, right? Anything like that, just allowing yourself to think through the opportunity of doing bulk orders could be game changer for you because you go from someone saying, oh, I'm only going to do 3 or 4 shirts. Like that's not a lot. It really wouldn't be worth it for me to only make $100 making 3 or 4 shirts. Like that doesn't seem worth it. What would you do if you were considering bulk orders? And it's just the thought. So if you add in bulk orders, then you're like, oh, well, I can make 20 shirts and make $400 or $500. That really entices me because I could do 1 order a month and I've made my craft budget. Stuff like that. So consider doing larger bulk orders for other businesses, nonprofits, et cetera, because then you get to focus on what you're best at. You spend less time communicating with 20 customers. You have 1 to do 20 shirts. So tip number 4 is very similar to everyone's scared of bulk orders, okay? Well, number 4, and I want you to write this one down. This is like your thought. If I could give you all one thought today, if I could give you one thought that was like, I need to really think about this. Because I assume if you're here, you love learning with me, you want to sell your crafts more, anything like that. This is for even people that are not actually go sell their crafts, believe it or not. Actually, this is probably for people. This is for anybody that wants to sell their crafts. What is your unfair advantage? Meaning, what can you leverage that you already from your past to give you an unfair advantage today? For example, I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing for 2 years. If I was looking at my unfair advantage, would you say my unfair advantage in the world is crafting and growing a craft business that I have 12 years experience, or would you say it's real estate, where I've only been investing 2 years? I don't have near as much knowledge and in history in real estate as I do in crafting and in craft business and working with consumers and things like that. So my unfair advantage is 12 years teaching a Cricut machine, 12 years in craft. So for you, what is your unfair advantage when it comes to selling your crafts? Is it that you can take bulk orders because you have more space, right? Like if you have more space, then you have more room to do things others cannot. If you have an unfair advantage that you're a hand lettering artist, then oh my gosh, let's use it, right? Like what is your unfair advantage? Because whatever that may be is the secret to your success. The reason our membership site grew so rapidly was my unfair advantage of the market. It was that I have been in crafting and used a Cricut since 2010. I know what the ideal, customer struggles with. I know what I struggled with back then. I know the flaws, right? If someone says, I want to recreate this community, they're going to have a different, upside, right? Like they're going to have something they specialize in and they can't replicate my unfair advantage. So it's very important for you to understand what your unfair advantage to the marketplace is. If you're a seamstress, you know way more than I do, so you need to leverage that in your business. Look into that. My unfair advantage would be computer skills. That's amazing. You can customize things, you can design things, you can maybe sell more online than others. All right, number 5, right here. Y'all, talk about wanting to do custom orders. You talk about it all the time. You want to do custom work. You want to do high end, but you're not making it easy to get the order. So in Design Make Sells new make section, we talk about accepting custom orders easily. At any time of the day or not, I should be able to find you on social media. I should be able to go there and I should be able to take and book a custom order. Can I go to one of your websites or one of your Facebook pages or one of your Instagrams and place a custom order right now without messaging you? If you want to make professional crafts easier, then we need to make it easier to receive orders. So that could be a link to your Etsy shop with a custom craft area available, right? That could be an order form. That could be your Shopify store. Remember, inside Design Make Sell, I'll teach you how to set up a custom Shopify store and customize it. It's very fun. Shopify now has a 90-day trial, which is amazing. That is number 5. So to recap, confidence is number 1 and it's key. Number 2, complete your projects all the way through so you believe in them and that they're amazing. Step number 3 or tip would be consider bulk orders so you do less and make more. Tip number 4, leverage that unfair advantage, which we all have because we all have life experience. We all have amazing careers and it's so much fun. And number 5, accept custom orders easily. If you want to make it easier, automation and processes will help remove you from the business, which will allow you to make more and touch more and make it a lot easier. I wanted to have a conversation around the 3 things that you or that are holding you back from selling your crafts, because I think a lot of us just need to have this conversation to kind of get some thoughts flowing for us to really push us through that. Courtney shared with me something so good that I'm going to read to you all from someone on Facebook that shared, and I think it's going to really hit home for a lot of you. So I'm super, super excited. What I am super, super excited about is to chat with you guys about the three things. So when I talk about the three things holding you back from selling your crafts, the first thing I want to offer is if you could put in the comments right now, what do you think it is? If you're someone that's watching the video and you're like, I want to sell my crafts, and for some reason you haven't done it yet, will you put in the comments, record it or live with me? Will you put why you think you're not selling your crafts? Now, what I want to also add to this conversation is for the ones of us that are, or the people who are selling their crafts, but they're not getting the result they want. Meaning, you're like, Tanner, I'm selling my crafts, I'm doing it, but no one's buying yet. Because I want to talk to you as well, because these three things actually relate to anyone that is not selling to the level they want to sell at, or they haven't started at all. Either one of you, whichever camp you could be in, this is going to hit home to you today. So it's going to be really good. Kimber says focusing. Tammy says fear. Lindsay says pricing items. That happens a lot. Tara says confidence, no family support. Oh, y'all have got it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what I want to offer, first of all, Tara, I want you to understand that you are ultimately, until you reach like a success level. I mean, I was doing really well in my business and had no support. I had no support. So I don't want you to feel like everyone that has went before you had support. A lot of people want to keep you in a really safe space. So they do it out of love and kindness, but it doesn't feel that way for the one receiving it. So just know that that's very common. And I think once we realize, oh my gosh, we know that, we're like, oh well, of course they don't want me to do something scary where I could fail, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? Like that's super, super good. Diane says deciding which platform is best in shipping vendor. Love it. Knowing how much inventory to have. Tiny Green, I don't believe you should have any inventory. I think you should take what your best projects are and sell it, and then give it lead time to make more, right? To make more. I love it. Lindsay says, haven't started selling because I'm nervous about pricing my items. Okay, Lindsay, number one, actually, and this is lead us in. So a lot of us are scared to price our item. And I want to offer you the relationship that you have with your ideal customer is a big deal. Okay. The thoughts you share about your ideal customer is going to play a bigger part than you know. So if you're taking notes today, which these are going to be good, so you might want to take note. Number one is for the three things that are holding you back from selling your crafts. Number one, you think your customer is broke. I'm going to say it again. You think your customer is broke, right? A lot of us think about our customer and think, oh my gosh, they have no money. Oh my gosh, they can't afford me. Oh my gosh, we're creating drama around a situation that isn't actually happening. We as the business owner, we as the person wanting to sell our stuff is the one going out there and creating that relationship. No one told us, no one said that, right? We have created this theory. And what I want to share with you is what I was saying Courtney read to me, so I'm going to read it to you. It was a Facebook post by Julie Dolan. I don't know them, but it says, value yourself. A bottle of water in the supermarket is worth 50 cents. The same bottle in a bar costs $2. In a good restaurant or hotel, it can be worth up to $3. At an airport, on the plane, you may be charged $5. The bottle and the brand is the same. The only thing that changes is the place. Each place gives a different value to the same exact product. Okay? Same exact product. I want you all to remember that. When you feel like you are not worth nothing and everyone around you belittles you, change places. Do not stay there. Have the courage to change places and go to a place where you are given the value you deserve. Surround yourself with people who appreciate your worth. Don't settle for less. And that was Jeff Rock, Sr. All right. So, what this is saying and how this applies here in this instance, because I truly, truly, truly believe more of you need to hear this. Just because one person said that they can't pay you more than $5 doesn't mean that that's everyone. And this could apply personally or in your business, okay? Whichever one. I can say this about some of my friends. I could say this about some people I've worked with, like customers, right? Just because someone is not agreeing with you does not mean you're overpriced. I think a lot of us are holding on to one customer. I think all of us are holding on to one conversation. And instead of moving, being like, hey, I don't want to serve this person who doesn't value me, we're doing the opposite. We're saying, oh my gosh, I need to lower my price. Like, oh my gosh, they're right. Oh my gosh. No, you need to go to the airplane. You need to go to the restaurants. You need to go to the fancy hotels. Same product, my friend. Different group. All right. You want to have a great relationship around your ideal customer. You want to have thoughts that, oh my gosh, I am saving my customer time. Oh my gosh, I am helping my customer. I'm helping them have a home they love. I'm helping them be the parent that they want to be. Positive thoughts. So as you have fear that you're not able to charge what you want, if you have fear that, oh my gosh, they're going to not like that price, or oh my gosh, this or that, you want to acknowledge that, and that this will happen. This happens to me, and I serve thousands of customers, right? This happens to me all the time. I get worried and insecure, but you just want to acknowledge that and say, no, what do I really want to think about my customer? Chances are you want to think, I'm helping them, I'm serving them, they're happy to work with me. And then you could think about why. I'm on time, I'm reliable, I make a great quality product, I'm worth it. All right. That is so important for you to establish if you're currently selling. If you're too scared to price that product yet, especially Lindsay, what are you scared of? Our pricing can be fluid. What your price is today doesn't mean it has to be a month from now. Isn't that great? How about that? I was coaching someone recently and they were really scared about setting their business name. Very common. I can't decide my brand, and it felt like to me that they felt like they were going into a marriage. So I said, what if I could offer you that you're not married to it? You're not married to your business name. You are going to use that business name until it no longer serves you. I said, this is not like your marriage. You're not in it to win it. I said, I've had to rebrand myself more times than I can count. I would literally forget about them if I started going back and being like, before Maker's Gonna Learn, before Little Crafting Your Day, before Tanner Bell Designs, like going back and like thinking of all the other reinventions I've had. It's fluid. So what I want to let you know is, like, when you're the business owner, you can change your business, you can change your name, you can change your price, because you're in charge. And I think a lot of us are really worried about making it perfect, but we want to do it like faster than trying to perfect it, because it'll never be perfect. So, but how you will get to perfection and how you'll be in the art of perfecting is charging something. So charge what you can today, whatever you can sell yourself on. Okay, if you're taking notes, this is a good one to know. You want to charge what you truly feel good about. So if it's $10 today and tomorrow you're like, whew, I did it. This is a $20 project. Now you know. And you didn't lose $10. you gained an experience, right? Like it's really, you're wanting experience and you want to charge something. That's it to get started. Very important. All right. Here is what I want to share with you guys to really go out there and really think about what you're doing. So a lot of us are here and we're like, oh my gosh, I want to sell my crafts. I'm wanting to do this. Like I think I can do this, right? What I want to offer for number 2, and something I see very common, is that you don't have anything to offer. All right. Number 2 is you don't have anything to offer. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you are here today and you do not have anything to offer, it's going to be really hard to sell it. All right. If you do not have anything to offer your customer, they're not going to be able to buy anything. And this sounds really like basic, but I want to tell you, what do you offer? Like if you could put in a comment right now, what do you offer? 2 or 3 things. What is it? Write those down. Like write it down. Like doormats, shirts, and something else. Like what is it that you offer? Tumblers, sublimation, doormats. Like what is it? Because then you're going to take it and you're going to go out there and you're going to make offers. Like you're going to say, hey, it is spring, I'm doing doormats, right? Like if you want to place a custom doormat order, let me know. Here's one I have at my house. Like that is what you want to do. You want to make offers. It is so, so important to know what you're going to offer someone, so that if you start talking to them about your Cricut and you talk to them about their crafting and your crafting, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I'd love to work with you. You could say, hey, well, actually, I can make t-shirts, I do doormats, and I do, something else. Like whatever it is that your core offer is, that's what you want to have. Does that make sense? Like you really, really want to have something to offer, because if you just say, oh yeah, I make stuff, a lot of times that's not enough. It's not sticky enough. It's not making them like be like, oh, okay, yeah, I need that, right? Like you want to know what you're doing. And again, similar to what we're talking about before, you're welcome to change. You're welcome to try a bunch of stuff and you'll find that one thing that popped out. You'll find that one thing to stand out. And it is so, so good. Pam says, I make mini scrapbooks. It costs $85 just in product. I can't imagine paying that myself. To make any money for my time, it would have to be a higher price. Pam, I want to offer you that if you are building a quality book, if you are able to provide value, these grandmas and moms out there that are wanting to document their babies and the growth and their first year, people would pay you $200 if it meets quality, right? If it's something super unique. As you know, it takes a lot of time to do it. I would see if you could get your cost down to $45, $50. What could you do to make it more cost effective, right? More cost effective, to really make it scalable. Like I think you could charge $150 because you're giving a whole book. Like what would be the offer, right? Like, could this be like, let's document your baby's whole first year? Because if that, is the case, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'll send you all my pictures. You're going to have them printed. You're going to do all this amazing work. And I just pay you. Like people want convenience. This is the era of Amazon Prime and 2-day delivery. People don't have time to craft like we do. People don't have time to create like we do. So that's one thing I want to offer you, is that you and we are crafters that have craft rooms. This is a beautiful craft space. All of our spaces are beautiful. Not everyone has a Cricut. Not everyone has time. Not everyone has money for the machines and things. And a lot of people don't want to do it themselves. It's unbelievable that because we love it, there's people out there that don't. There's people out there that will just love the result that you have for their kid to have a custom Easter egg basket, right? Like you have to understand you're not your ideal customer. I think we forget about that. How to come up with the optimum amount per size to sell t-shirts. Is there a formula? So are you saying like how many you should have on hand and things like that? Like, is there a formula to use? Optimum amount per size. You want to say, hey, here's my shirt. What would you like? What size? And give time for you to go out and get a black t-shirt, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have a bunch on hand unless you just feel really comfortable having 3 of each color, right? Like, or 3 of each size in simple colors like black and white. You're more than welcome to have a stock, but it's not necessary to sell. Like, I think we tell ourselves like, oh, I have to have stock, I have to have stuff made before I can sell. No. If you have it, if you've made it for yourself, that can be your photo and you can go out and sell it. And if somebody places an order, you can have a deposit and then you can go order another shirt. Or you can swing by Target, or you can go pick it up at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, or, you know, like we'll figure it out. Yeah, right? So good. So number 3, are y'all ready for this? Are you ready for this one? Here is where I want to call a lot of you out with love. And I really want you to understand this. If you were saying you sell your crafts and you're not getting the result you want, or you haven't started yet, this relates again to both of you. You won't put yourself out there. You will not put yourself out there for many reasons, right? We can tell ourselves a beautiful story, right? Oh, I don't want to put myself out there. You know, I'm uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable, my friend, I don't think is a good enough reason if you have a desire to sell your crafts. I believe that your result of selling your crafts and making an additional side hustle, supporting yourself to pay for your crafts, supporting, you know, your expenses or whatever you're wanting, whatever your why is, my guess is that your why at the end would be worth it for you to get uncomfortable, right? Like if we just, instead of talking about putting ourselves out there, if I asked you the reason why you want to sell your crafts, are you willing to get uncomfortable? Most of you would say yes. Tanner, I will get uncomfortable because at the end, it will be worth it, right? You know, to make $500 a month, to just guilt-free shop. Do you know how many students of mine just want to have a guilt-free crafting experience so that they do just a little amount of work each month to pay for their new supplies, to pay for the new toy, to pay for the new machine? I'm here for that. To pay for your hobby through your hobby is insane, right? Is insane. I love it. So when I ask the question, would you be willing to get uncomfortable to get to that result? Almost every time people say, yeah, I'll get uncomfortable. Okay. Well, for number 3, if you're not willing to put yourself out there because it's uncomfortable to you, you're not following your work. You're not following through that you would get uncomfortable, right? How many of us are constantly like, oh my gosh, I tried selling my crafts. This is one of my favorite stories people tell themselves. I tried selling my crafts. Nobody wanted it. I tried. Nobody bought it. This is my other favorite. It's too saturated. Too many people. Not enough room for me. Somebody's already doing it. These are the stories we're telling ourselves to keep us not putting ourselves out there. And I want to you understand that we all have been through it. I've told myself this story of like, oh my gosh, there's already other Cricut educators out there. Oh my gosh, think about it this way. If I had told myself that story in 2017, saying there's already people teaching Cricut, there's already people, has done it, there's not enough room for me. How many of us have learned something from a video I've posted, right? Like, I know you've learned stuff because you hang out here, you're watching, you're consuming. What if I had told myself that? We wouldn't got to have met, we wouldn't have been able to meet, we wouldn't have been able to work together, nothing. So I want to offer you, what would it be for your transformation, for your customer, that you're not looking hard enough for them? Think about that. Because I could told myself that same story. So I want you to really think about that you're to put yourself out there to meet that ideal customer to help you wherever you are. So those are the three. Hey everyone, Tanner Bell here. Welcome back to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. I am so excited for today's video because we're gonna talk about if I had to start over today, my plan to go full-time in crafting. And this is something that I normally don't talk about here on the channel, but I know over the past year or two, a lot of you have started handmade businesses and a lot of you have been able to quit your 9-to-5 and jump in full-time. So I thought today would be the perfect day to discuss my exact plan to go full-time in crafting and why I think that would probably be one of the easier, better ways to get started and making money online or with local business. So first things first, a lot of you at home may be saying, Tanner, you don't even make and sell items for your business every day. You're correct. Our business here is to teach people how to use their Cricut machine and how to master selling online and things of the sorts. But what a lot of you do not know is the background and how I actually ended up right here today with a YouTube channel of 500,000 subscribers, a thriving membership site with tens of thousands of members, and working on the internet. It's crazy to think that over a decade ago, I got started selling handmade items on the internet. And this is one of the most powerful things that I really like to hit home when we're teaching our students all about selling and making money crafting. It's the power of starting. And what I absolutely love about selling your own crafts is that you do not have to have a huge audience to make revenue. You can have a few qualified customers that are going to help you start bringing in revenue very quickly. And let me tell you, building a business on YouTube and building a membership site, they're amazing ways to make money. But if we're talking about getting there and getting there fast, working one-on-one with customers is one of my favorite all-time ways of bringing in revenue really fast that I think a lot of people don't think enough about. So if I was to go get started today, I would establish my social media accounts and I would actually start documenting the process of the Cricut projects I was making today. And you may be saying, Tanner, why am I doing that? Well, I'm taking a play out of my playbook of kind of documenting the journey and saying, hey, let me show you a time-lapse video of my Cricut cutting, weeding vinyl, anything like that that can show that you're an authoritative figure in your niche is going to be amazing for you if you're just getting started today. So I'm definitely going to take that and use it because guess what? It's not any extra time to prop up your phone and document you crafting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and speed it up into a 30-second clip, right? That's the beauty of documenting the journey. You could post that once a day or any time that you sit down to craft and start building an audience and building it around people that are interested in the Cricut, maybe interested in just watching you craft, and they may not even be able to craft like you do, but they love watching it. After I've spent time building credibility for a few weeks, I would probably then start letting people know I'm accepting orders. I would really go after low-hanging fruit. And what I mean by low-hanging fruit is pretty much the boring stuff. The boring items that you probably don't even want to think about because it's so repetitive and so boring potentially is actually some of the best ways to build a business when you want to start making money using your Cricut. And what I mean by that could be t-shirts, stickers, decals, mugs, anything like that that you could do, especially in batch orders. Could you do shirts for a baseball team? Could you do shirts for a Girl Scout troop? Anything like that where you're going to do a large order and you're not going after one order. You're trying to attract customers that are going to want to order 10 shirts, 20 shirts, 100 shirts. When I first got started, I had to make Christmas cards, I think for a business, but it was 75 handmade Christmas cards that I spent probably a week and a half working on and making sure that they were perfect. So these are the type of customers, if I was to go get started today, that I would go after and start trying to attract, because let me tell you, getting one customer to order 20 is a lot easier and better than going after 20 customers that are ordering one. So I think that mindset shift alone is going to be a huge, amazing pivot for a lot of you and how you're showing up in your business. My first actual goal would be to hit $400 a week in profit. So I'm going to be very laser focused in how much it is costing to operate my business versus what is profit. Because I think one of the best first benchmarks is hitting $400 a week for a certain amount of weeks to hit consistent growth in your business. You want to get consistent orders, but you also want to be hitting consistent profit margin. I want you to really be laser focused in your numbers. One of my favorite things I talk about time and time again, and I truly believe this, if you do not have profit in your business, you actually don't have a business, you just have a really expensive hobby. So I want you guys to spend more time looking at the books, looking at what you're spending in your business instead of just saying, oh, I love this, I would buy it anyway and spend the money. It's good to be educated to know what you should be charging and how much your profit is for how much time invested every single week. Once you have benchmarks and once you have a goal of what you want to make each month or each week, I think in addition to knowing what type of customer you're looking for, it's going to help you be intentional with your time. It's going to allow you to know that you don't have all the time in the world and you're going after a very specific goal. So what I want you to also work on is, again, building referral business. Get people to recommend you, get repeat business. Try to keep those people coming back to you anytime they need anything. If you have a shirt order, see if you could also make them stickers and then rinse and repeat for them and other colleagues. Let me tell you, word of mouth referrals are the best way of business, and that's actually how I work with a lot of people. If I know a colleague that had a good experience with them, I'm 10 times more likely to work with them as well. So really hype up referral business and maybe have some type of reward or have some type of gift you give when someone refers someone. I don't know, but I would really focus on that because being able to build referral business is a lot cheaper and a lot faster than having to build a social media presence and things like that, for example. As I would continue to work on the low-hanging fruit, the easy orders, those bulk orders, I'm going to continue to rinse and repeat this process as many times as it takes. And only after I've mastered one product would I add on something else. Right out of the gate, I'm not going to be sublimating, I'm not going to be screen printing, I'm not going to be able to do everything. I would focus in on what the Cricut could do, and only when I hit my first goal would I even consider adding anything else. A lot of people right out of the gate want to be able to offer everything, and that is not going to allow you to focus in on anything. So I want you to be very careful as you guys are planning out how you're going to maybe quit your 9-to-5 and start crafting full-time inside your home. But my friends, it is so exciting for you. I am really excited for anyone here. If you just quit your job, maybe you be planning to quit your job, leave me a comment down below. I want to know what your #1 struggle is or pain point, and I'll try to give you some advice in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you found any of this informative and fun. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my friends.